And welcome to Friends Like Us. I'm streaming from Chicago for the first time. I'm Marina Franklin, and this is
Evelyn Frick.
Yeah! How you doing, Evelyn?
I'm good. Yeah, it's a little cold in New York, much colder in Chicago, but I'm good. I'm actually taking the train home to Pennsylvania to be with my family for the week of Thanksgiving. So I'm excited about that.
Nice. Pennsylvania. Woo, woo, woo. This
Yeah.
is Chicago is do you know what the temperature is in Pennsylvania?
I haven't looked. I mean, where my family lives, it's like further south than like I don't know. Obviously it's further south than New York. So it's like not I think it's in like maybe the 40s. Today in New York it's like low 30s.
That sounds so lovely.
I know. Yeah, I'm sure it's like
No, it is so like yesterday when I landed here
yeah.
and I'm in a hotel because like everyone's everywhere and I just
Yeah.
like to, do my own thing. But
Yeah.
it was so cold. My ankles, like you have to wear like socks that cover your ankles. My ankles were
Yeah.
freezing. There's ice on the ground.
Oh my God.
There's snow. It's like I'm gonna show you
Yeah, yeah.
real fast. Can you see that?
Oh yeah. Oh, that looks like winter.
Isn't that brutal?
It is. It's just the grayness. It's like it just feels desolate.
Yeah, it feels like everyone's like, wait, what do we go out?
Yeah.
So yeah, so no, I haven't like I got here and then I went out to get coffee and I literally cursed. I was like, come on, seriously?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, and then this morning I tried to work out in the gym
Yeah.
and someone had the audacity to open 3 windows.
No.
And then the woman looked at me as if I was crazy for closing it, and I'm like, "No, no, no, I don't COVID, whatever, I get it." I
Yeah.
go, "But I have on a mask, you have it on a mask. Whoever doesn't have on a mask, that's them.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this window can't be open."
No, it's too cold in Chicago.
Like Chicago, like I keep my window open in New York mostly
Yeah.
like all the time just because it gets so hot in my apartment. You can't do that in Chicago.
Mm-mm.
Not even a
No.
slight little a little that little breeze that comes it like bites. It bites you.
Mhm. It's like that, going to Chicago and then also, my girlfriend's from Minnesota, and I did visit her one year, for her birthday, which is in February, and that's, like, bone cold. Like, I understood that phrase for, like, the first time because it's like it gets in your body, and you really feel it.
Yeah. Like for the first time I was like, I need to like eat some more food, gain some more weight because I
Yeah.
you gotta be protected up in here. It was crazy. But I
I
did work
know.
out this morning. What
Oh,
else are you up
nice.
to, Evelyn?
Let's see. Earlier today, my girlfriend and I just went on a long walk in Prospect Park, which was really
You
nice.
can go for a walk?
I
That's
know.
nice.
It's yeah, very lovely. Yeah, and then honestly, like for my job, Hanukkah is coming up next month. So at work, it's just been a lot of preparation for the holiday. Um, and yeah, it's fun. This week I interviewed. There's this new like Hanukkah rom com that's out on Hulu with Lucy DeVito, who's the daughter of Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman, who's also an
Oh,
actress. So I interviewed her.
you
Um,
did?
yeah, she's really lovely. It was a good time.
That's a pretty big deal. I didn't even know they had it. And she's an actress?
Mhm. Yeah, it's so funny. Like you
How
could,
tall is she?
she's
Just
like
curious.
4'11". She's really
Oh,
tiny.
okay.
And she looks like a perfect, like, mix of her parents, and is just so, like, gracious and talented, and really cool. So yeah, I got to talk to her, and the movie. Actually, Sarah Silverman is also in the movie with her sister Laura, I believe. It's called Menorah in the Middle on Hulu. It's fun. It's a good, cute, holiday movie.
Oh, yeah, I just worked with Sarah. Love Sarah.
I know, so funny. And it seemed like such a great show.
Oh, yeah. Oh, god. I can't wait. I Is it for kids?
The movie? Yeah. Well, it's like a family movie, I would say. Like, there's nothing, like, raunchy about it.
Oh, okay. I gotta take my niece to the movies this week. I think I'm gonna take her
Oh, cute.
tomorrow. So I was trying to think of a good movie for kids.
Oh, gotcha. I'm not sure this actually I think they just released it on streamers. I don't think it's in
Oh, okay.
theaters. Yeah, honestly, like, I don't go to, like, movie theaters anymore, so I have no idea, like, what movies are, like, playing in theaters or which are just online.
You know what's funny? I In the hotels. Oh,
Mhm.
I could see this girl's hotel room. She probably thinks I'm peeking in on her. But this is the only way I get light. I don't know how to
Yeah.
tell her that. This is the only way I get light. Um, but I in hotels, you can in some hotels you can stream.
Yeah, yeah,
This one you can't. So here's a very interesting thing, Evelyn.
yeah.
When you can't stream, you are like a prisoner to what TV gives you.
Yeah.
But when you stream, you have the option to watch what you want to watch. So you're not
Mhm.
really being told what to watch. You're choosing. And that I think is what's made us divided
I think
as a
so.
country. I think streaming has
People
I
don't
think
remember the
streaming
days of, like, very, like, only a few years had this of before streamers came out, where I remember when I was a kid just channel surfing because
channel
nothing
surfing.
was on that you wanted to watch, and then you'd end up watching something you didn't really wanna watch because it was the only thing on TV. Kids these days don't have that, and they they should be forced to deal with that.
Yeah, you have a choice now. And I was I ended up watching a hotel of something. Some hotel. It's some crazy movie that I thought I watched and I didn't watch. And then I'm
Yeah.
like sitting there watching and I'm like, "Oh, so it's got to be really hard now for actors to get people to watch. You've got to really promote beyond. You got to promote more than ever before to get people to watch your shit."
Oh, totally. Yeah, and, like, yeah, for example, like, this movie, Menorah in the Middle, like, they licensed it to show it on Hulu, but it's not, like, a Hulu original. So, like, Hulu hasn't done any press for it really, like, it's really only been, like, the, actors and, like, director who've had to, like, reach out to people, and, like, it seems like people have been watching it. It was trending on Hulu the other day,
Oh, okay.
and it definitely helps because also, like, there really aren't like, there's so many Christmas rom-coms, and I think there
Yeah.
may be, like, a total of, like, 5 Hanukkah rom-coms, so I think people are always interested in
Are
seeing
you
what's
serious? There's
new.
only 5?
Yeah, I think so. Hallmark and Lifetime only started making, like, Hanukkah rom-coms in 2019. So yeah, there are, like, 2 from there's, like, one called, like, Mistletoe and Menorahs, I think, and then oh gosh, I can't remember. But what I heard of them is that they're basically Christmas movies, but with, like, a little bit of Hanukkah. Um, but there's actually Hallmark has another Hanukkah rom-com coming out this year, which actually sounds pretty good. It's like the premise is that these 2 people, their families own like competing Jewish delis, and then they like fall in love. So that seems kind of cute. But yeah, no, they're so few.
Yeah, I never really. I guess it's also because we have to think, you know, like the older I get, the
Yeah,
more aware I am of who owns most of media.
yeah.
And it's like, well, I wouldn't say own most of media, but the corporations have been slanted in a very like Catholic,
Mm.
religious, like Hallmark. When I think of Hallmark, I think of like Christianity.
Oh yeah, no, for
You
sure.
know?
like all those movies, like regardless of like if they're Christmas or not, those kind of movies, I feel like always have like some sort of like Christian like moral at the end.
Mhm.
Which isn't like it's not good. It's not like necessarily like good or bad, but it just like is, and there's so many of those movies. It's nice to get a few different different offerings.
Yeah. What there is a backlash of what? What are you talking about, Eric Prince? By the way, I should say hi to everyone since I'm in Chicago, so I'm a little off my game. You see, I'm like streaming, it may freeze. Who knows? We're trying
Yeah.
I don't even know if my computers are all the way charged or my Bluetooth. It's all we're experimenting on how to keep this going for you.
Yeah.
The holidays are fast approaching. We do this every Saturday, except for when I'm on the road. But look, I was able to do it this time. I'm in
Yeah.
Chicago. I'm about to celebrate the holidays with family. I usually go to LA, but I came here for this one because my mom was going to be here. So that's why I'm doing this.
Oh, that's fun.
But I do this podcast live, Friends Like Us. It's not really, this is not a podcast. This is
Yeah.
just us streaming live to promote Friends Like Us, which is, I don't have my hoodie here with me, but
It's
today
okay. I got the shirt.
I got on my native roots.
Nice.
Yeah. So this is what we do to promote the podcast. This current episode that is out right now, I encourage you to listen to it. It's about feminism. It's a really short episode too. It's only like an hour long, if that.
Oh, wow.
And it's with Lisa and Marilka Velez. And both women are from the Women's Fund of Greater Milwaukee, who I did a presentation for this Thursday, this week. Amazing. And I will get into that, but
Yeah.
it was a pleasure to reclaim feminism. That's what they were doing. That's what the tone was. That's what the subject matter was, the F word. And they invited me to talk about it and do my stand-up material while talking about it as a speaker. And I have to be honest, I have never really claimed the word feminism or feminist. I just never felt, and they allowed me to explain why.
Mm.
So I think they're going to air that. If not, I will air pieces of my own material that when I worked on it at the Comedy Cellar. But it was powerful, and it was
Oh, that's great.
just to be with so many women who are doing great things and opening their minds and hearts to other women who may have not felt like they were included in the fight
Yeah.
for feminism or feminist issues, or maybe didn't understand what feminism really means to them.
Mm.
So that this episode that's out right now, take a go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify. It's scrolling right underneath right here. You see in the link tree, it says link tree Marina Y Franklin. Go to that and you can see all the platforms where you can see stream the podcast. Whew. What did he just what happened to him? But it was fun. Remember,
Yeah.
so Evelyn is also my assistant and she organized it. They were very organized, right?
They were extremely organized. Yeah, they like reached out to us like way, way in advance, which made it really easy to plan. Usually I make your itinerary for these kinds of events, but they sent their own, which was really, really lovely. Yeah, like you can kind of tell, at least from my perspective, like I can always kind of tell like if an event, like I think it will go well. And like for the most part, I'd say like your events go really, really well. But like it definitely helps when like the point people I'm working with are really organized on their end, and I can tell that
Hmm.
like they're gonna like make sure that like you're taken care of and like have everything you need to perform well.
It
And
makes
just like
a
what
huge
it
difference.
makes a huge difference.
And Sarah's gig was also organized.
Yeah, it was great. They had like
It
yeah, they had so many people for like me to reach out to. And like Sarah's like manager, I think was like on the ground at the show and was like, here's my cell phone number, like if Marina needs it day of, which is lovely. So yeah, no, the last like few events that I've or like helped like prep you for. Like, they've been particularly, like, really on it and
They
really
be
great to
on
work
their
with.
shit.
Yeah,
Because
very
there have been
interesting.
times, right, Evelyn, where we're like, what the hell is going
Yeah. When you were in
Michigan?
Michigan, yep.
Woo,
That was the
woo!
time, yeah. Oh, man.
Michigan. I mean, these 2 gigs made up for Michigan and then some.
Yeah, totally, totally.
So, I guess we'll bring on the man of on the hour. We'll bring him on. Let's give ourselves an applause, though.
Oh,
We
yeah.
never do that for ourselves. This is me. This is Marina Franklin and Evelyn Frick.
Yeah. It's nice to feel that validation.
Isn't that nice?
That's good.
All right, guys. All right, DJ Eric Prince. If you're joining us for the first time and you haven't been here before, please let us know where you're at. Because
Mm,
sometimes we get people from like Africa, and we've had people from Ethiopia, and
yeah,
it's incredible. Sweden, we get
yeah,
Sweden a lot. So come tell us where you're at, where you're watching us from.
definitely.
Okay. And welcome David Juskow.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah. Were you also wearing a beanie when you came on, or did you just see me wearing one?
I'm mocking you.
Oh, you're mocking
Why
me,
are you
okay.
mocking?
I'm not. No, remember I told you I was going to wear a hat today. I had some dermatology stuff on my face.
Oh,
And I'm
that's
embarrassed.
right.
Yeah.
I should wear a hat. Oh, hold on. Let me get a hat.
No,
Would
I was
that be
I was
wrong?
actually really happy, Evelyn, to see you in the hat because I'm like, all right, great. They'll think I'm mocking her. It's better than what I want.
No, it's also, I mean, partially because it's a little chilly in New York today, but also my hair up top wasn't sitting the way I wanted it
No,
to,
you look
so
really good at. I mean, you got a perfect face for a hat.
thank
Like
you.
so it's it works out well. You look great. But it's fun. Yeah, I'm chilly. Oh, see, that's the hat I need. That's the hat I need
Well,
for
I'm in
Monday.
Chicago. It's like in the teens here. I think it's like
Ooh,
minus. It's
It's
maybe
30 here. It's in the 30s
It's
here.
13.
oh,
Well, that's colder. I have my windows open. For some reason, I'm afraid to close the final window because I'm gonna cook and then it'll get hot. But right now, I'm freezing.
oh my gosh.
Don't even talk about freezing. You ain't in Chicago. You don't feel this.
Oh, here
You
we
don't
go.
understand.
Like,
You can't even crack this window open without it hurting.
but
Okay?
you're nice and cozy in your apartment, in your hotel, yes?
Yeah, it is cozy. It's nice and
And yeah,
cozy,
and it's
but
like a DJ Eric Prince is like, isn't that normal Chicago? Were you expecting something different?
it was 70 degrees here this week.
It
I had
was.
the guy at the
70?
when I
Remember
picked
I
up my
told
rental
you
car.
on Saturday I went to Yankee Stadium. My alma mater was playing football with another college, and it was 70 last Saturday.
Yeah, it
70.
was
I
hot.
I left the house with a jacket and I came back upstairs and put it away. And then on Sunday I went to go see Sarah in Tribeca and I had to wear my winter coat. I mean, it was such a difference, and it was windy and chilly and really cold, and just those weather swings are insane.
I
70
think I
Yeah.
to
think it's gonna stick
40?
though. I think it's gonna stay really cold now, and I've heard that it might be a harsh winter.
Yeah, well, that makes sense, I guess. I mean, we're due for one of those, I suppose. I mean, what's happening in Buffalo and all those
I
places this
know.
week? 6 feet of snow? I mean, that's insane.
Jenny is in Oakland, California.
Oh, that's
That's where she
Oh,
wonderful.
it
lives.
must
I'm
be
sure it's
beautiful
lovely.
there. So
Yeah, Oakland
jealous.
and San Francisco, they have like kind of perfect weather where it's never, I feel like it's never hot, but it's like
Mm.
never super cold. Like probably like the way France is and Paris. Maybe we're on the same, I don't think they get really cold there. I'm not positive. I don't really know anything.
I don't
I
know, I've
just
never
know
been to
San
France.
Francisco has like, aren't they always just in the 50s,
Yeah, generally, I'd
like
Yes.
all
say.
year
My
round?
nieces were like, it's never hot, but it's like always kind of cold.
Sounds like a very pleasant place to live. Not Oakland so much as San Francisco.
My girlfriend grew up in
Well,
San
they're in San
Diego, and I've
Francisco.
heard, like, that is, like, 70 every day.
Where?
San Diego,
Oh my God. I've always
but
wanted I've never been there. I've always wanted to go. I heard it's the best.
I mean, of course, living in California, I think with, like, wildfires and earthquakes and all that, that's what get in return
Yeah, we
for
got
70
plenty of crap
every
here too.
day.
It
Very
is
So
funny
true.
when people
isn't
are
this fun? We're doing it, and I'm in Chicago. Isn't that great?
It
It's
is the best.
nice.
If it
And that's
wasn't
why
for
your
the
connection
COVID,
has been
this never
good.
could have happened.
I didn't know. To be honest, like I had an engineer come into the room to figure out the Wi-Fi situation. I was going to complain,
That's
right?
so funny.
I told him. I said, "This is really ridiculous. You guys have to fix this. This is what hotels like nowadays. People have to be able to get on Wi-Fi. They got to do business. This is unacceptable. It's unacceptable.
Yeah, why were you having trouble?
It's just this hotel. They have some weird. Their Wi-Fi is just not
You're
great.
absolutely right. That is unacceptable. Did you figure out your TV? You weren't able to watch that Lindsay Lohan movie, were you? Damn
I
it.
can't stream. I was just telling Evelyn that it's really interesting when you can't stream that you're like a prisoner to what the TV gives you.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Being older, I'm good with what the TV gives me. Like I don't care, but I can't imagine being Evelyn's age and having to have to live like that.
Well, like I'm still like I grew up like having to do that a little bit. But yeah, not as much as
I'm still good with hotel television, like I don't mind watching what's on and what's on the thing. I didn't even think that you could until I saw Sarah do it. I didn't know you could, take your phone and use a QR code and just have it work like that. It's fantastic. What are you doing?
That's me, Marina Karen Franklin. I'm putting a piece. I'm like, yep.
Well, but
claiming
that
that.
but way you're doing it and you look really cool, it doesn't fit into the Karen structure. That's why I got confused. You look really good doing that, and it looks natural and cool. You look ridiculously cool. You look great, and so it just doesn't fit into the Karen motif. Who Karens are all
Marina's
they're
doing
usually
Karen's a
always
service.
pretty, but they're just so gross, I guess, and then they become unpretty because of the way they act.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get a little crazy. There was a Karen at the Women's Fund. Those women, by the way, were some of the nicest. I was talking about how I just did my first speaking engagement in Milwaukee for the Women's Fund of Greater Milwaukee, and those women. There was this one woman. Her name was Karen. That's why I'm bringing this up.
Of course.
And I said, you're the sweetest Karen I ever met. She goes, oh, thank you.
DJ
She
Eric
was so
Prince
sweet.
graduated with a Fire Stick. That's it. Where do you plug that Fire Stick in? Those TVs, though, they don't always have an opening for that. The hotel TV.
There's not this one. You have to really you have to climb on the desk. Sometimes they make it so you can't get back there to plug anything in.
Yeah.
I don't know why. They should know that by now in hotels that people want to stream. They want to like Marriott's. You can get your own Netflix account in most Marriott's.
Really?
Put it on the TV.
That's cool.
And Hulu or YouTube, whatever, and you can watch it because that's what people want.
That's what people want. It's funny that the hotels haven't caught up to speed. It is kind of odd. Like hotels are living in the past. I guess I don't know. Maybe they don't care anymore because Airbnbs are taking over. But I'm still a hotel guy for sure. A nice one like that looks like what you're in. It looks nice and clean. That looks.
Oh yeah,
fantastic.
this is a nice hotel, and it has a record player.
Wow. What's your room number over there? I'm gonna come by.
It's a 7. No, but it is a record player, and it plays. I'll play it in a little bit when we close out. I'll play It's a blues because Chicago's got the blues, so it's all blues. They give you like 3 records.
Cool.
It's like the theme of the hotel.
So
I really
wow,
like
that's
this
really
hotel.
awesome. Wow, that's something.
The hotel is like inspired by like sort of Obama-esque era when Obama lived in Hyde Park. So this is basically Hyde Park area.
I don't think so.
You shut your face.
That hotel looks too nice.
You shut it. He's on the wall downstairs. He's like,
Of course he's on the wall. We should put him on the wall of my building.
And there's a restaurant that he used to frequent all the time. So it's like
he's the Alan Alda of Chicago. There's a picture of Alan Alda at every Chinese restaurant in New York City. Obama's becoming the new Alan Alda of Chicago.
Yeah, it's great. But the blues is a heavy influence, and so like I stayed here this past summer, and I love the whole way the hotel is set up, and it's got such it's a beautiful neighborhood where Black people are really thriving, and I just love seeing it. So
stop.
So that's why I'm saying I love it. I love it. It's some classy folks.
Where is this magical place where Black people are thriving? Wakanda?
Everywhere.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Have you seen it?
No, I'm kind of upset. I liked that actor who died, Chadwick Boseman,
It's such
and
a
it's
good
sad. So I don't know whether I want to watch it because that first one was
that's why
great.
it's so good. This one
You
actually,
saw
I
it,
don't this yes, I
and
saw
it
it the
was good.
first day.
I mean, I like that girl
Amazing.
that played the sister, and I like the other characters, so I assume they're all in
She's
it.
amazing in it. And Angela Bassett deserves an
So they
Oscar.
found a way to do it without him, like a good quality. What's the what?
I don't wanna give it away because it's
Oh, I see.
hard to talk about this one without giving away a lot of what makes it so good, and it starts at the very beginning.
Oh,
They
I would.
Mhm.
really honor him,
Gotta tell you
I
that
will
fucking
say.
Marvel is so good, aren't they?
They
Marvel.
really honor him, and there's a last scene, you know how, like, after the movie ends, they do, like,
Oh, yeah.
extra?
Works.
There's one that just, like, I mean, it
You watched it in your hotel? I could watch it on
I'm feeling
TV,
it right now
or
even
you
as
went to
I'm
the
talking
movie?
about it. What?
You watched it in your hotel? You can watch it
No,
in.
I watched it the first when it came out, the
Oh,
first day in New York City
you
with
went to the
Keith.
movie theater.
Yeah, I took Keith. Well, Keith
Of
wanted to
course.
go,
He's
so
always
actually,
That's so funny that he still loves watching those superhero movies the day they come out. I didn't know you guys were still doing that.
he loves it.
I
He
know he
he
does. I always wanted to be a
things
part
that
of
he
your
likes
team.
sparkle things. He likes things that, blow
But
up
that
and
Marvel,
things that
they're
fly.
so it's so funny when you think of if you know anything about, comic movies, that DC cannot get it together and Marvel has it down flawlessly. It's really it's like a joke. It's like embarrassing
I
for the
think they've
people
probably
that.
given up at this point. Like, there's no way they could
Well,
make
now
it
I think
now.
that you're right because after this Flash incident, like where this kid is now
Yeah,
brought up
yeah.
on charges, maybe going to jail. I think now that you're right, they're probably like, "Oh, just forget it. Let's just make TV shows. We're better at that."
I'm glad to hear the new Black Panther was good though, because I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen a lot of like press and like media about it, and like very purposefully, all the headlines of things aren't giving away any spoilers, but a lot of them are kind of framed like, did the new like Black Panther like live up to the hype kind of situation? And whenever headlines are framed like that, I usually think the answer is no, that
Yeah.
they don't. So I
Well,
hadn't like I haven't seen it yet, but I was thinking like, oh no, like it doesn't
Marvel's
sound like
actually
There
it's
was some hate going on
gonna
because
tell you you're right about DC
I
animated.
watched the yeah, is that true?
Oh,
Their
yeah, DC
animated stuff is
animated is
pretty good?
fantastic. I was just doing because Kevin Conroy just died. I don't know if you heard about that,
yeah.
and he used to do the voice of Batman, and those early Batman 1989, 1990 stuff with Mark Hamill as the Joker are amazing. They're so entertaining.
Well, let me tell you, I was watching the Bloomberg channel because, I watch stocks all day.
And now we gotta
Mhm.
And there was a white guy on there
what?
talking about how they weren't gonna make as much money and how it didn't live up to the first one, and he was wrong. He
Oh,
was like,
about, Black Panther.
"Oh, not black about
What wasn't gonna make
yeah,
as
oh,
much
yeah,
money?
yeah, about Black Panther,
Well,
yeah."
that guy's an idiot then. I mean, why would he
But that's when I
why would
realized
you bet against Marvel? You'd have
but
to be
he
a
said
moron, but
that
then
because I realize there's a lot of people that really don't want a movie like that to do well, and they
Mhm.
speak as if it's a truth.
you mean
Because
just because it's more of a
it's black.
black?
Yeah.
Why would anybody care?
I'll put him in a Wakanda forever.
Well,
I'm
can I tell you
Wakanda
something?
forever, your ass.
When I was talking about the magical black page for people who are doing well, can I just tell you one story which is fascinating? And I don't know where it was. And this happened to me in the 80s. Remember Eddie Murphy had the movie Boomerang?
Mhm.
Um, and it took place at this, I don't know whether it was a law firm or an ad agency where it was all black, an office where all black people. And
Mhm.
we were sitting there always going like, where is this mythical place where there's this office of well-dressed black people who are doing well and executives? And the weird part was after I saw that movie, I worked in a place like that. When I was
Yeah.
temping, I worked in this place and I don't know where it was. And I know it wasn't a dream. And I worked for this place where it was just mostly all black executives. It wasn't the UN because I definitely worked at places like that too, where I was working for different countries where it was all black. But so obviously noticeable of the 80s, I was always working for white people. And then this place in the late 80s, early maybe 1990, and I don't remember what company it was. I don't think it was a law firm, but there were all these just I don't know. I don't know where it was. I never saw it again, but it
Well, here's the
existed.
thing.
It was like
It does
Wakanda,
exist.
this place
But
in my
here's the
mind.
thing. These places do exist in America. Like, I oftentimes,
In
when I go out to the suburbs,
1989, 88, 89,
places like this do exist, but you don't see it.
you
And
don't
that's
Yeah.
see it.
intentional.
Like I said,
That's
I've never seen it since. I never
intentional.
heard about it. I don't know where I was. Everybody
And
was
it's not
so
like
nice
it's
and
not
polite.
so
I know that
it's
sounds
not
racist,
so
I guess.
rare. It's
Mhm.
not so rare. It's just that you're not in those spaces and you don't get to see it, and it's not put on TV so
Yeah, it was
that
not
what you
TV. So
see.
that's why when I saw Boomerang, I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? There's no place like this.
Mhm.
And yet, like you say, there was, but you just especially you don't think, I mean, maybe now there could be a place like that, but I don't even know whether there would be because it seems like it would be combined, but I don't know where this place was. I'd love to know what it was. The people couldn't have been nicer. I wanted to get a regular job there. I don't know. I was just I loved it there. They were
You
so
talking about
sweet.
you were trying to gentrify the law office?
I guess I was. It wasn't, but I didn't want a job there because I was white. I just wanted a job because they were so sweet and nice. And like I said, it was like this. I, I just never heard of a place. Certainly, my parents never told me there'd be a place
Tulsa,
like that.
Oklahoma. Remember I told you about Tulsa, Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. There's places like my grandmother's neighborhood on the south side of Chicago. Sadly, a lot of places get taken it. The economy kills neighborhoods. Black neighborhoods suffer the most. But my grandmother's neighborhood on the south side of Chicago was one of the most beautiful neighborhoods I've ever seen. I mean, completely clean. I remember a comedian telling me, he said he had never seen a beautiful black neighborhood in his life. And the first time he saw it, he was like, what's happening? And that is intentional. They don't want you to see us in that light so that you criminalize us in your minds. That's intentional. And that creates a divide and it creates a fear. And now we are where we are.
Mhm.
That's amazing.
So don't you go gentrifying no black law office. You stay your white ass out.
Well, I was the actual black person who worked at, I had the lowest job ranking there. It's kind of funny. I thought, being on the other side, it was kind of
Isn't it
interesting.
interesting when you're on the other side of it?
It was weird, but they, it's not like they treated me badly or anything. It just
Of course
wasn't,
not.
there was no issue of any kind of race or anything. It was fascinating. For years I've been working for women, in the 80s. Like I've always worked, women have always been my bosses. That's why it was so made sense for me to tour with you guys, with Sarah and Beth and everything, and where you guys are like my bosses. I'm used, Sarah's like, you're she kept saying like, isn't it funny that the male is the worst comic on the show? And I'm just so used to women being in charge ever since like the 80s and stuff. I've always worked for I used to work at a bank, and the woman was like the
Tamara, what up,
head of
Tamara?
the presidency.
Tamara's
Uni
saying
World
sounds like
background.
Juskow temped at Uniworld,
It sounds
black-owned
familiar.
marketing agency in
But
New
it was
York
really
City.
right out of that Boomerang, It's like there were girls as beautiful as Robin Givens, and men as pretty. And
If you come to Hyde Park in Chicago, I'm telling you,
well,
this
I don't want. Let's
neighborhood.
not get
This is
carried away. This was a one-time thing.
well, the University of Chicago is right here, but it's
Mm.
also just a very. It's Hyde Park is always been very thriving.
And
Very
ASB
black park.
513. It's like when I was at this bank, there was this one woman executive there. There was a woman that was higher up, and then there was one woman executive, and she used to call me in her office all the time and smoke. Which was funny because you could do that, and it wasn't an office; it was just at a place, but you could smoke in the buildings. And she would just complain to me about the men in the office. Complain to me after hours. She'd just be like, "It's fucked up, right? I mean, they just don't respect me." Like she would tell me all these things, and I don't know why she chose me to tell all that to, but I felt bad for her because she was completely right.
Now, Jenny is saying there's a large mall that is all black businesses. There's a large mall that is all black businesses, modern, beautiful, in the Midwest somewhere. I saw a few months ago on Instagram, and I saved the video. Yeah, send it to me.
But I feel
I
like
love it.
nowadays that would be a little bit more normal, if that's the right word. But in the 80s, He says, I feel like that should have been in the news. Like, should have been 60 Minutes. I've never seen a place
No,
like
it's
it
just you. It's
before.
just it's they don't put it on the to showcase it in that way. It's like, look, see, but it's like the reality is it exists. It's just you only see in the news what they want you to see,
I
which is
suppose
black
that's true,
people.
especially
I'll
back
never
then for
forget
sure.
talking to Noam one time about how black people were thriving, and then on like literally on the TV right across from us, they show like like black people like this gang like stealing a bodega, like robbing it, and it was like literally in that moment I go, see, that's the shit they want you to see. Now
Mhm.
there is, in reality right now, I have been on the road and I am seeing these cities are struggling. A lot of them are struggling.
Mhm.
And here's what I'm seeing: it's a lot of poor white folks out there struggling really bad and on meth and on drugs. And that's
Mhm.
no joke. That's for real. Like, that's the thing about this division between the Democrats and the Republicans is there is a strong component of white people who don't understand that what is going on is affecting them and they need to be aware of it. So the poverty, there's a lot of poor white folks out there right now. They are struggling. It's not don't make it a black thing.
I know. I wish people would remember, that white people need a lot of help.
No, they don't need a lot of help. But I'm just saying that the situation is dire and Republicans
Can I just tell you something
claim
else too?
claim that they do all this stuff, but
I
look at
guess
their policies.
all of a sudden I'm just remembering this stuff. I tell you, I used to work at, it's so funny now that I think about it. I used to work at the UN too. And for one of these black, mostly predominantly black countries. And now that I think about it, it
Now
was
you
so,
wanna go to Africa?
I don't know, they were so nice, but
What's
I was
happening
upset
to
with
him,
them
Evelyn?
because they didn't have the proper technology so I could do my job properly. But they were like, "We want to have the proper, but we cannot. The UN will not." It's like they, the UN sucks. Like they didn't. All the countries had the problem, no matter who you were. They just didn't have any money to, afford a good computer and stuff like that. It was just so interesting when I think about it now. I worked for so many different companies and so many different kinds of people.
I think you're right, Marina. We're seeing some sort of evolution of Dave. But I
Well,
can't
that was
put
Yeah.
my
from so
finger on that.
long ago, though. I guess they're all still out there and everything, but I don't know. Maybe it wasn't Kenya. I don't remember what it was, some African country, and
It
they
feels
they
like
loved me and I
you're not
loved
like you
them.
were
And
last night. Last night I called, can I say this? I called David
sure.
last night and he goes, "Are you high? What's wrong with you? I don't understand a word you're saying." And then he just stopped. He goes, "You know what? Maybe I'm high."
Yeah, I forgot I had gotten high earlier, and you sounded high to me, and yeah,
I
I
was
was
like, "What are you
really
talking
high. I
about? I'm
don't know
not
what
high."
happened.
And you were like,
Well,
That's
"Wait,
so
no,
funny.
you know what? I'm
usually
high."
wears off after I eat, and I had already eaten, so I didn't remember that I was still high until I started talking
It
to you.
was and I was like,
That's so
"What?
funny.
Slow down." Yeah. So, Evelyn interviewed. Tell David who you interviewed. I don't think he heard that. He would love that.
No, so I interviewed Lucy DeVito earlier this week, daughter of Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman. She's in a new Hanukkah rom com on Hulu that actually Sarah is also in.
Really?
Mhm. She and her sister Laura are
No.
two. They play sisters. But yeah, it's called Menorah in the Middle. So
It's
I
odd that she
enjoyed.
didn't mention it. We watched the Lindsay Lohan Christmas special on Wednesday, and she didn't mention she's in one of those Jewish rom-com, like a Hanukkah rom-com. It's kinda
Mhm.
odd to was it not good? I mean, it's
It
kinda
was.
odd that she wouldn't mention it, kinda
I don't
Yeah.
weird.
know. It's like fine. It's like a family, like very like cheerful. Apparently it happened like they filmed it like super fast. The writer director like he was approached by a production company to like direct a Hanukkah film and he's like this doesn't like feel authentic to me. Like I would want to like direct my own project and so they're like okay, but you have 6 days to write it. So he wrote it in 6 days and then they like immediately cast and then filmed it in like 10 days or something.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it looks like the Lindsay Lohan is, except they clearly had money for a helicopter shot. They have all these helicopter shots, which are amazing, but the
That's so
rest of the
funny.
movie just looks like, I mean, I can't believe it's on Netflix. It is just completely a Hallmark movie, with the music going the entire time. You
Oh,
know,
well, I
with
mean,
all
there's like
those
such a
Hallmark
market
movies.
for it that like it makes sense that they would model it off of
I
Hallmark.
know, it's just you figure it's on Netflix, it's gonna be a little bit better, but it was
Mm.
not. Meanwhile, Jack Wagner was in it, and he was awesome. Oh, he's from General Hospital, you wouldn't know.
Oh,
No, I
okay,
know
so
who
He had a
say I
Jack.
know.
I know who Jack
he
is.
had a hit
Jack
song
was
in
with
the '80s.
Erica Kane, and he's a
Oh,
comedian.
no, you're mixing up the genres. Erica Kane was All My Children, he was General Hospital. Remember he had that
Oh,
song, "Kissing You was not what I had planned."
oh
Remember that
yes,
one?
I remember.
"All I need is just a little more
No more
time
time.
to be
You know,
sure how I
oh,
feel. Is it all
oh
in my mind? 'Cause it
yes.
seems so hard to believe that you're all I need. No stars are out tonight." Is it coming back? "We're shining our own light, and it's never felt so right. 'Cause girl, the way I'm feeling, it's easy to believe that you're all I need." Yeah. Remember that at the end, it goes, "Oh." Oh, yeah, so he plays
That's
her dad.
beautiful.
It was awesome. He looks amazing. What is he? Probably
Does he?
70 or something? I don't know. He looks great. Remember he was in Melrose Place, and he was,
Yes, I
dating
do.
Heather, no, not
Heather
Heather.
Locklear.
Heather Locklear, yeah, they were yeah.
God, that
Oh,
name.
so
I
Jenny, you know
where
what
is
I'm talking
she?
about. Jack Wagner. And then
Where is
Sarah was
Heather
doing an
Locklear?
imitation
Have we
she was
seen
doing an
her?
imitation of
I
Felicia.
haven't seen her in a while.
Who, Jenny? She's back.
No, Heather Locklear.
Heather
I haven't seen her
Locklear. I've
in
Oh,
a
not.
Heather
while.
Locklear went insane and had some police problems. She lost her mind and has a mental issue. Yeah, something went horribly wrong.
Oh God.
What do you
Yeah.
mean police problems?
Yeah, like I don't know, she's a
She was a
mess.
Karen, or she just was
Yeah, a little
sick?
bit of a Karen. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a Karen problem with the police, and then there's clearly a sickness of some sort.
Can you not hear me?
I can hear
I
you.
can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is the first time I'm not using my fancy microphone.
Oh, we can hear you
You still
bet it's
sound
actually
good. Yeah.
sounds perfect. It's flawless.
You mean I spent all that money on that dumb microphone?
That's right, it's a complete waste of time.
So let's talk about Elon Musk and his Twitter and what he's done. And isn't this like an example of like the myth of the person who's in charge of the company is really not the person? Because he's showing that he doesn't. I mean, I could have done a better job than him.
No, yeah, he's very much showing that he doesn't know what he's doing, and it's clearly like affecting his other business ventures. Like I've seen so many people talking about what's happening at Twitter and being like, this is the man you want to take you to Mars. Like absolutely not. Like he very clearly has no idea what he's doing, firing all these people and then realizing he needs like engineers and then trying to rehire them, trying to get people to
Code.
come into to like code to come into like a meeting and being like screenshot like your 10 best lines of code to like show me. It's like so bizarre.
Evelyn, you're so right. Like if he was making the rocket ship, he goes, "We should probably have somebody that knows about rocket
Rockets.
fuel."
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's like it's weird.
It's so weird. And I also saw, I don't know if this is like true or not, but I saw on Twitter, like someone had who's doing like research on him, like said that also like it seems like his education credentials are like coming into question because of all of this.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's clearly not good for him. But it also seems that like people keep like on Twitter being like, oh, I think this is the end. Like people are saying goodbye. I don't know if Twitter will like actually go down. It very well could, but I don't see it happening.
Marina and I were talking about it.
soon.
We kind of hope it would because it's just one less social media thing for us, you know.
Yeah. I
And
mean, you know,
I'm
I
good
have
with
such
just Instagram, and
I
that'd
have
be
such
perfect.
conflicting feelings about it because like on the one hand, like I totally agree. Like I don't think
because you're verified. Get it?
well, no, because I'm conflicted because
You're
of-
verified?
yeah.
Yes.
Because I'm a writer.
I'm
reporter.
not verified. I was
How
like,
did you
Evelyn, get me verified.
How did you get verified?
Because I'm not
she's-
like because journalists are verified on Twitter and I am a writer reporter.
See?
No, I don't see.
That's
Yeah.
where she wants it. Oh my God, you got to see
Oh,
this.
impressive.
This is Chicago.
Oh, cool.
Look at that.
Oh my gosh. Is
Wow.
it
Oh my
snowing?
God, it's snowing?
Oh.
Yes. Those are called flurries.
Cool. I've never been to Chicago.
You've never been to Chicago?
No.
Doesn't that look
you
so like no one wants to come outside?
Mm-mm.
But
Just makes me
like,
want to
where
stay
are
in.
you in the city of Chicago?
Yes.
I mean,
Hyde Park. This is the city.
Hyde Park.
Chicago is great. Chicago's got many parts to it. But anyway, back to Twitter. Yeah, I think I don't know. I kind of think it's gonna go down, Evelyn.
I think it's so hard to tell because like I don't know, the situation is so unstable. So many people have like left. It seems like a technical issue could arise that they just like wouldn't know how to fix because they don't have the engineers. Like on the one hand, like I do think Twitter is like a huge platform for bad a lot of the times, but I am the reason I'm conflicted about it is because like as like a writer reporter, like a lot of the news comes from things that are on Twitter, from people sharing information. Um, and talking about like their like local situations. So like if Twitter goes away, I think it will be harder to report the news actually because over the last like decade.
This is Twitter going away.
Yeah, I mean it's very slowly, but I think
I get all my news from a Twitter account called Liza Outlives, which is Liza
I love
Minnelli
Liza
Outlives.
Outlives.
Oh, you know Scotty, or you know the thing?
Well, so I know. So Hey Alma, the publication I work for, interviewed him a while ago now.
Oh, he's hilarious.
But he's so funny, and
he's
I see it. I see
one of
his
my best
tweets.
friends of 30 years. You know, we've been known each
Oh,
other for a
really?
really long time. And that is where I get my information. That's how I found out that Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde just broke up.
Yeah.
That's how I found out that the Queen was dead.
Yeah.
He just
use
texted me while we were talking.
I
Scotty,
love Liza Outlives. It's such a
isn't it the
fun.
best? He told me he had to do another one because he gets a lot of like bots that are not cool in that thing, which I was so surprised about. I thought everybody loved it. He goes, no, I get a lot of trouble from people that are not fun.
It's so crazy how many just messed up people there are in the world that just want to ruin like a nice little
and
platform.
this guy Scotty, he worships Liza. Oh my God, he has if you've ever been to his house, the shrine that is in his apartment, it's so funny. You think it's like just kind of a gag, but then when you see it for real,
Like how much actually
that
loves her.
gay and love Liza, you think it's just not going to be for real. But in fact, I wanted to have Mateo and him on one day, and Mateo playing as Liza, and he wouldn't do it because he's like, "What if Liza sees it? She won't." I'm like, I wouldn't worry about that. I don't think Liza's watching our YouTube show.
The woman we stayed with in Vermont, her girlfriend, was a close assistant to Liza.
Oh wow.
Liza's had a lot of close assistants because Scotty was her publicist for a while, and then she distances them. She doesn't really have, it happens. They're for like a year or two, and then it's over.
She has a great photo of Liza in the house.
Really? That's
she used
cool.
to take these great photos of Liza.
I can't believe Liza's only 72. She looks like she's 92. She's very young.
But does she have a stroke?
I don't know what she has, but it's from years of pills, and I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
really
being
sad.
a child star was not kind to her.
Yeah. And not just a child, so she's in that
72.
movie. What is it where she's a baby? Good News or something. One of the ones her dad directed in the 40s.
Yeah.
She was starting out, and let alone your mom's crazy.
Yeah,
I want you guys to see. Isn't that beautiful?
It is nice.
It is beautiful. So it stopped flirting because what's in the background? Is that actually Chicago or?
That's just part of the city. That's this. Where I'm in
what are we
Hyde
looking
Park,
at?
so
I'm curious. Like I said, I've never been. So what is it?
So this is you're looking at the south side.
Oh, so that's the
basically.
bad side, right?
No,
It's not the
I thought
bad
the
side.
south side of Chicago was not cool.
No, that's
That's
not
the one
all
they
of-
depict in the
no.
movie Vacation. Everybody knows that.
You're an idiot.
Well, yeah.
Do you hear me? You're an
Yeah, I hear you.
idiot.
Wait, what's the South Side? Isn't that where Leroy Brown lives?
You have to go places to get educated.
Bad Leroy Brown. Doesn't he live in the South
I
Side
told
of
you, my
Chicago?
grandmother lived on the south side of Chicago. So south side of Chicago is not all bad. There are bad parts to everything. What they show you about Chicago in the news is not all of Chicago.
Where did the Bill Cosby the Fat Albert show take place?
I don't remember.
Did it
That's
take
a good
place
one
in
for Eric
Philly, or
Prince.
did it
Eric
take
Prince,
place
can
in
you answer that?
Chicago?
Because I feel like I don't think it's Chicago. I feel like it's Philly.
Right, because that's where
Yes,
he's
yeah,
from, right?
it's
He's from
Philly.
Philly,
Oh, it is
yeah.
because that's where he's
Yeah,
from.
Philly. Yeah, it doesn't fit. It never
Yeah.
felt right.
I get so angry about Bill Cosby because I mean I used to watch that. I watched every episode of that show, and now it just makes me angry. I don't know. The whole thing does. I thought he was the coolest, Bill Cosby.
Well, things
Turns out he's
happen.
the worst. He's worse than everyone. He's the absolute worst. Not only does he rape, he drugs.
Well, Harry Weinstein is pretty
Harvey.
bad.
Well, he's bad, but he
What
didn't.
did I say, Harry?
Harvey Weinstein's really bad, but it feels like Cosby's worse because he was like drugging it. Harvey Weinstein was pulling the old, the one we're used to, where you're like, you want to get big in Hollywood, you have to do this. Like that makes somehow I can
think
wrap
it's
my
all
head
the
around that.
same.
It's all
It's all the same. It's all the same. At the women's.
But it seems like the Harvey Weinstein, the women, yes, he could ruin their careers, but it seems like if you want this, you have to do this. Whereas Cosby was giving them no alternative.
No, I don't think it was always just that. I don't know because I haven't listened to the trials, but I think it's a lot grosser than just if you want this.
Which one? The Weinstein?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. No, he's a horrible.
I don't think it was just like here's your job. Do you want it? I don't think it was just that. I think
I'm friends with somebody that he destroyed in show business, and
really,
then she became a devout Catholic, and I mean, she still looks really good, and she should still be working, but he fucked her up good, and she's an Oscar winner.
I always felt like people don't listen to older women, and so a lot of times when these cases come to light, it's when they're older, and that's where ageism comes to play because people listen to older women talk about sexual assault, and there's such an ageist attitude towards older women when they talk about what it was like to be assaulted when they're younger.
You know
Would
what?
you agree with that, Evelyn?
It's worse.
Yeah,
than that.
I would say so. Like, I think especially it comes into play because if they haven't spoken about it for like 20 years or something, the thing is always like, oh, well, you're only coming forward now to make money or whatever, and questioning people's memory, which is ageist. Yeah, I think because women, so much of our capital in society is dependent on being beautiful and attractive, because people are ageist and our society is ageist. When older women come forward, I think society is less inclined to believe them because they are older and not what society deems.
I'm right here. I'm that guy. I'm bad at. I mean, I'm bad at it. I fall for it every time when I see the women that are complaining about Cosby.
Oh, you see it.
Sorry, I'm like, I'm not paying attention because they're not. Come on, why would he go out with her? She's not good looking. I fall for it, and it's. I feel horrible about it.
That's honest, though. That's how it really plays out for a lot of people.
That's why the Monica Lewinsky thing was so confusing to people. Like they're like, "Well, it doesn't make any sense. Why her? Why not? Why not Heather Locklear or something?" I mean, just we tend to do that.
I'm gonna find a picture of Heather Locklear today. Can you find one, Juskow, and put it up, and I'll share it?
It's easy to find. I mean, you really just look her up, and they probably have her mugshot up there.
But I looked up on her Wikipedia. It says she had work in 2021.
Yeah, but she's a real mess. Something happened. I mean, I always keep up on her because I was hoping to go out with her one day. I mean, she's, a definitely high school dream. So I'd always keep tabs. She was still so pretty, but something happened. I just remember reading about just before COVID or during. I think she was problematic during COVID. I guess I'll look it up now if you want me to.
Yes. I love it when Juskow focuses. It looks so fun.
See, I mean, all I did was Google and put in, and then you can see the pictures. of her looking absolutely awful, there's definitely something wrong.
Can
It's
you share it?
oh, I don't. Oh yeah, I guess I can, right?
Oh, I
I
gotta share Eric's picture of me at his wedding too,
Oh
if I can find
yeah.
it. I have it was he I looked at it afterwards, Eric, and
uh,
that picture I looked like a baby. My God. I didn't realize, you know, you
I
don't
think this
realize you're
will. Let
young
me
when
see
you're
if
young. You
oh
don't.
here. I'm sharing now. Can you see?
Oh yes, hold on.
So you see, like, I mean,
Oh. Okay, yeah, no, she looks how old is she?
60.
Okay. Yeah.
But no, but it's from
Yeah.
like boozing and some sort of
She looks fine
problematic.
though, still. She actually looks fine.
Yes, but
I
it's
just haven't
there's
seen her
something
before.
wrong. It's like she I don't know. It's
You
hard
can
to
see the
explain.
alcohol in the eyelids, sure.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's
Mhm.
something like she's just drunk. I don't know whether it was her father or something. Something happened. Obviously I could read more about it, but
A lot of people don't realize that alcohol can really destroy it makes you like bloat.
Hmm.
yeah,
That's why
Yeah.
Juskow is always like bloated when he joins this.
right. That's right. I saw a picture of myself at Yankee Stadium Saturday. Somebody sent me one. My face is so fat. I was so drunk. I was hammered. Did you hear about this, Evelyn? I tried to jump a turnstile and I totally fell backwards.
Oh my
I
God.
couldn't get my feet, and then when I was trying to grab onto the turnstile, it was moving, so I couldn't. I fell backwards, and then the next day, I was so loaded that the next day on Sunday, I'm like, "Why what does my body hurt?" I forgot that I totally fell over the turnstile
Where did you try to jump a turnstile?
at Yankee Stadium
Oh, okay.
because I was using my Metro card. I let everybody through, and then they just stopped it, and I had plenty of money on the card, and I'm like, it stops after 5. I have money I want to pay. I was
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
hoping the cops would come by so I could be like, what gives? You see, I have money on the card. So I was jumping because I had no choice. I was going to be left in the Bronx. No, thank you.
No one opened the door for you?
I didn't think about it, and my friends were from Rochester, so they
Oh.
had no idea. And that's exactly what everybody said. Why don't you just have them open the door? I'm like, well, thanks for being there when I needed you. Never even occurred to me. Never even occurred.
Oh my
Meanwhile,
God.
Marina and I saw something on the subway on Monday, which was just absolutely awful, and I still
Disturbing.
feel bad
Yeah,
about
tell
it
them.
because I didn't do anything about it.
Me
There was
too.
this
Yeah, tell them.
man, and he was annoying because he didn't do anything physically to annoy this mother and her 2 kids. Very nice, seemed like very nice people, just minding their own business, and he was talking to them. We don't know what he was saying, but she's like, "Leave us alone." And then she got up and moved, and he followed her, and that's when one of us. I should have made the move, and I just should
No,
have
you would
stepped
have
in
gotten
front of him.
hurt. He
I
would have
don't think
gotten hurt.
so. What I'm saying is I assessed the situation. The guy didn't seem like he was one of those people. I think I could have handled him. Is just step in front and say, "Hey, why don't you sit with us?" Something like that would have
No,
quelled the situation.
she got off the car because what I
And
had my
nobody did
eye on him,
anything, Evelyn. It was awful.
Mhm. Mm.
but there was nothing you could because he was mentally ill. So you don't if you're not trained to handle that given situation, the best you can do is nothing and watch to see if he
Yeah.
does. I had pepper spray, so
Yeah.
I was
You were
ready.
ready?
I
I
don't
was
know. I
ready
really wanted to.
in case he did something. I had pepper spray, but I knew that any movement, I don't know what's going to trigger him. I don't know what he's going to pull out. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
going to make the situation worse. And the funny thing was, Juskow, the police we just left the
Yeah.
station with the
They
police
were
are
just looking at
never
their
where
phone.
they need to be. They're
Yeah,
never
yeah.
where
Well, that's the
they're
problem with the subway, and I've had this problem for years because I get you get locked in on a car, and there's nothing you can do if a crazy person's in that car. And then it gets even worse when you're waiting for the doors to open. Sometimes they don't open. I've been on with a lot of crazy people, and there's no way out. So the
Oh
cops
my
can't be
God.
in every car. And
That
then you
happened
say
to
to
me.
yourself, well, I'll just sit in the first car with the conductor, but that's no help. And I have been in cars waiting, and then they stop, and you're just waiting to get off. And I've gotten off at a stop that isn't my stop because there's been trouble. And what can you do? You just can't
Oh my God,
police
I
We
was
went to
on
the
every
the
next
car.
car.
subway. Yeah,
What?
I was on the subway, like, this was last week. I was going
Hi,
to, like,
Carolina.
an event after work, and it was on the train, and we stopped on the bridge, and we were stopped for, like, 10 minutes, and during that time, this woman got up and started screaming in French. I think it was something to do with, like, a free Quebec. I wasn't quite sure, but she was just yelling, and it was getting, like, increasingly, like, aggressive, and everyone was just like, "Oh, Jesus Christ," but we were, like, stopped, and then we started moving, and then we stopped again.
Isn't that the
Um,
worst? It's
and
terrifying.
truly, I was
It's
like, "I'm
like,
going to
doesn't the
lose my
conductor know
mind."
what's happening here? That's what you're thinking. How could he not know?
I know,
It's
and it was
it's
like I didn't think because like, the thing is because it was a woman, I was like, "Okay, I'm not nervous that she'll, like, hurt
yeah,
anybody,"
women don't do that.
because I don't know, yeah, like, for me, I was just like, "Okay," like and I if she did, like, I think I could defend myself, but if it were a man, I would have been really, really, like, panicky,
Yeah, it's tough, back in the day, I used to take the
Hi,
subway at night,
Mister.
3, 4 in the morning all the time. That was the only way to get home. I couldn't afford a cab or anything, and
Yeah.
I was going back to Queens all the time at 3:30 in the morning. It was terrifying. It was terrifying back. Oh
Oh,
my
wow.
god, oh my god, you look great. Look how pretty
Look
you
how
are.
young. Look how young. Look at you can see the whites of I look like a baby
And
there.
that's Alonzo?
That's Angelo.
That's what I meant. What did I say? Angelo, I meant. He
You
was a
said
great guy.
Alonzo.
Oh, you
Yeah,
know what I
look at
meant.
that. Look at that love.
But you look so gorgeous.
I still do.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, it just I
No,
don't know,
you're starting to sound like I'm like Heather Locklear now.
well, your
No, but
skin looks flawless.
I was so young there. You could just see it. That's Eric. That's at Eric's wedding.
Eric who?
DJ Eric Prince, who's on here.
Well,
He
how long
took
have you known him for?
a long time.
Oh,
Here,
I
look,
didn't
that's his
realize.
wedding. Look, and that's us at the wedding at the table.
Aw.
See us.
Wait a minute.
I forgot.
Who's that girl? The Spanish girl. I feel like I know her.
Eric can answer. I'm
Oh.
forgetting who everyone is, but I know that's
How
Alonzo
how many years
actually.
ago was that?
DJ Eric, come on through and say how many years ago was this? Was like 15 years ago?
Is he still
This
married?
Yeah,
That's
beautiful,
nice.
beautiful wife. Yeah. There's
Oh, there
Eric.
he is.
That's so
Oh, I
fun.
don't know what that is. Sorry. But yeah.
That's so fun.
Okay, you look
Yeah.
great.
Oh, sorry.
God, you're still following the mail.
But while we're at it, I want you to see the woman's
Okay.
fun.
We go to Kyle's thing. He looks really good.
I know he does. He does his little. But I wanted you to see. I-
I love that poster more than anything in the whole world.
This is the women's fun.
That's what you did in Milwaukee.
Yes. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is over to the right. You can see Rachel's dumb face over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, over to that's the all the women that I met.
That's great.
Do they have pictures of you speaking?
They're supposedly they're gonna post it as
Oh, that's going to be
performance.
exciting. I was
Yeah,
telling Evelyn, I
I
was
hope they
telling her
do it.
yesterday, I'm like, I get a feeling this is going to open up a whole bunch of gigs for like this,
Oh, totally. Yeah, I think, like, doing more,
Mr. Mister.
speaking engagements would be really fun and really cool.
It's easy. I mean, it's not easy. I will say I did get a standing ovation. Over 200 people stood up
Wow.
to be
And walked
given that
out.
permission.
Yeah.
To be given that permission to explore your career in the past and why
Yeah.
things maybe weren't fair or because it's so hard to admit to things not being fair for me. It's really
Yeah.
hard because I never want to because it always feels like people are saying that you're complaining or
Yeah.
you're playing the victim.
And I never want to be a victim. I've always been that person that I like to show up and do the work and have people wonder how amazing it is. But to be able to be given that permission to explore and talk about honestly how tough this business really it can be for a female comedian. And I can do that now because I've earned the right to do it. I think like
Yeah.
when I was younger, I had to just hustle, work hard. But Jessica, you know how hard it's been for me. You've seen like everything I've had to put up with, and
Actually,
to
I
come
don't. For
through.
me, it looks like you've had a very easy ride.
You know what it was like dealing with men, though.
Yes, and especially black men. Ironically,
Yeah, I dealt with all of
who
them,
got
though.
very jealous of her
I,
career and
I
would
dealt with
give her
all of it.
advice that would be detrimental because they were very jealous. I saw
Yeah,
it with my own
I deal with
eyes.
that. Yeah, I dealt with that with white men too. Now, white men had
Sure.
a
No, I know, but that's why I
well,
think I brought it
but
up because
men,
it
black
always
men. I was
surprised
mostly.
me. It surprised
I,
me,
yeah,
that
I tell a story of Donnell Rawlings taking my sneakers. Not that he was, but he was a good friend. But he took my sneakers and threw them out because he said I wore them like white people. He was like, "You
well,
got to
that's
throw these sneakers out. You can't dress like this." But he didn't understand the reason I was dressing like that was to prevent men from being attracted to me. I used to dress down on purpose. I
that's what
dressed
Beth Stelling
somewhat
said
like
too. At her, remember when I asked her why she was wearing those stupid overalls at that HBO
I used to wear
special?
overalls. You wanted
Yeah,
to desexualize yourself. So you're like working hard at working. You don't even realize what you're doing is protecting the men around you so that they can work. But what
Yeah.
about, go ahead, Evelyn, what were you about
Oh,
to
I was
say?
just gonna say, I think that's so interesting because I feel like the opposite is like happening now, where like a
Yes.
lot of women comics like are like wearing like whatever they want and also like being like more like I think sexually provocative in their outfits, which I do think on the one hand like is a good thing. Like I think if you're doing that to like empower yourself and like not like focus on like male comics, like that's really great. But I do see people also like using it or like I don't know, like I think like I personally like don't I dress the way I want to on stage, but I don't want it to be like I want you to laugh at my jokes. Like I'm not there to like I don't want you to like me because you think I look attractive on stage. So it's like
Yeah,
about finding that balance.
it is about finding that balance. And I think that, when it started to happen, Amy was really one of the first ones to come on the scene and own her sexuality in
Yeah.
material and on stage. But the reality is for a white woman to do that, it was actually easier
Oh,
and it was
totally.
applauded that she did it. Whereas for a black woman to do that on stage, black women were often seen as, Jezebels, um, sexually promiscuous, their
Yeah.
material was dirty. So the idea that own it on stage as a black woman, you were it was always expected anyway.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
So to own it on stage was not easy for me. It never came easy. So I had
Yeah.
to really, yeah, I had to work hard to figure out that balance on stage. Because you're right, even to get guys to listen to you from the audience in a certain way. I never felt like if I, if I looked sexy on stage, maybe they couldn't focus because,
Yeah.
I'm so hot.
no, you're right about what you're saying. That's always been a problem. Girls never know exactly how to dress, so you're concentrating on the jokes. It's true.
Yeah.
I had conversations with that girl Olga once when she was auditioning for Montreal, and I said, you should at least dress up. Don't dress down because there are guys my age watching. And I'm not saying to dress sexy. I'm just saying to dress more like you're going to be on television or something because they're older people and they respect that you respect what you're auditioning for. Does that make any sense? Like just, you don't have to dress sexy, but just dress like you're at a nightclub, I mean, I guess that's old school, but I always try and dress up, and most of the guys I mean, if you watch Seinfeld, the guy always wears a jacket all the time. Now that's an old fashioned thing,
Yeah,
but
that's kind of, oh,
I
yeah, but
always try and dress at
like you
least
care,
decent,
right?
wear a
Like you
nice shirt.
care.
Yeah,
Exactly,
they just for
right.
the
Now there
moment.
are some times, I'll go to a regular club on a weekday and just dress down, but normally, like if you're performing on a Friday or Saturday, I can't see the harm in dressing up a little bit, because your people are paying money and you want to look unless you're David Tell, and that's your horrible look.
Jeanette, she also into acting also.
Oh, that girl. Oh, the woman that I saw. Yeah. Oh, yeah. She definitely looked familiar. I feel like I've seen her before somewhere.
So why don't we do some reviews while I go to the record player and
Yeah.
Oh,
scratch
cool.
a record? As Eric was like, "Don't scratch those nice." They put it in the hotel, so what am I supposed to do? Okay.
Yeah, so we have some great reviews this week of the podcast. I grabbed these from Apple Podcasts. And as a reminder,
I'm sorry.
no, you're good. To make sure to leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts so other people can find us. So this one comes from Tabitha85, who said, "Glad I found 5 stars. I like how real Marina is and brutally honest. I will continue to listen," which is great. And then this other one comes from Ann Mate, who says, "Love this show, 5 stars. I've been recommending this show to friends and realized I hadn't even left a review. The hosts, Marina is fantastic and the guests are great. I always take away something to think about. Listen to this podcast." So yeah, I thought we got some great reviews this week.
Thanks, Evelyn. And
Yeah.
the NAACP actually asked us to submit for an award this year, but
That's so
it costs too
exciting.
much money. It costs too much money. I'm not in
Money?
the company. Company didn't pay for it, so we're gonna get out on. Let's see. Can you hear that?
A little bit.
Can you hear it?
A
No.
little bit.
Not at all.
Okay, I can hear that.
Can you see that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
It is really cool.
I know Eric Prince is annoyed because he's a DJ, so yes, I am probably scratching this record, but
No, it sounds good.
this is what they do. They put the records in here like this.
Wow.
Let me see.
You got a pocket full of money, little girl.
Wow.
Josh
Don't know how you
Berman
need.
and
Somebody better come here.
That's so cool.
and then yeah. So we're gonna go, everybody. Juskow, why don't you tell our viewers where they can find you?
No, I'm not gonna do
Nowhere.
that. Yeah,
That's right.
that's right. Just the Comedy Cellar nightly show on Tuesdays at 6.
Oh, I messed with the pitch. Sorry.
All right, now you are pissing off DJ.
So where are you, Juskow? And where can they find you?
Just the Comedy Cellar nightly show on Tuesdays at 6, and of course Juskow in the city, otherwise nowhere.
Why do you have to make it so depressing? Look at you.
I'm sorry, I'm in a transitionary period.
You know what? Rachel and I both said this morning. We always worry about you, and then we call you. And then he's like, "I'm in a bar and I'm drunk right now, having a great time. I'll call you later." You know that's what happens, right? We're
That's
all
cool.
like worried about you, and then it's like you're like, "I can't talk right now. I had a few drinks."
Well, thank God. Otherwise, I'd probably kill myself. I mean, if I
Oh,
don't have these good
no.
times, every once in a while, then listen, I'm a fun drunk. I should probably drink all the time. It's just
You're
that
sober right now, and you've been pretty fun.
well, I'm a good drunk. Like drinking is good for me. I get happy, and it's good. Like it's the opposite of everybody else, I guess. always have a good time. I feel like everything's going to work out, and I enjoy the hangover process. I'm a very strange person.
Yes.
I don't think I have
So,
to tell any of you guys that.
no, not at all. It's like Juskow and strange in the dictionary. Well, that's cool. So, Evelyn, tell our viewers where they can find you and the friends.
Yes. So for the time being, you can find me on Twitter at Evelyn G. Frick. You can also check out my website, evelynfrick.com. If you're interested in reading my interview with Lucy DeVito, that is on Hey Alma. Actually, wait, no, that's wrong. It's actually getting published on Monday. So the link for that will be on my Twitter, so you can read it then.
It's still there.
I know, yeah.
So thank you both. I don't say this anymore because I think about the realities of the holidays, and there was a lot of rape going on. So I kind of think what a dark place for the holidays. So I always think of it as a moment where we just see the ones we love, whoever that is. Some of us don't have a lot of family left. So whoever that is that you celebrate your holidays with, I wish you nothing but a good time, safety, celebration, maybe a moment of reflection.
Well, something's hitting your mic, so we can't hear the some of the poignant stuff you're saying. Your boobs are hitting your mic.
So, titties. So anyway, have a good holiday, everybody. Celebrate the life. Be grateful. Think about the things you do have, because there's a lot of people who really don't have a lot right now. So this is a time to think about that, reflect on it, be grateful, share, help out, love, and remember, wash your hands, get vaccinated, get boosted, wear your mask still if you want to, and Black Lives Matter. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night. It's still daytime.
I don't know.
Oh, that's
It's
right.
almost
You're in
dark.
It's dark in New York.
Oh, see, look. Oh. See that?
Oh.
Goodbye, everybody.
I still don't understand. Like, why?
You
Where
what?
do you?
Shut up.
Are we still on? Oh.
Yeah, we're still on.
Oh,
What do
sorry.
you not understand?
I don't understand why I can't see the city, like the skyline.
Because it's farther, it's south.
That's why I want to know where we're facing. I don't understand. I've never
You're
been there.
facing the south.
You're like making it like everybody's been to Chicago. How can you not figure it out?
Get a map.
You get a map.
All right. Happy holidays, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ta-ta. Bonsoir.